Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And as always, the minute I finish doing one podcast, a few hours later, something occurs that forces me to pick up the mic all over again. And here we are. Yeah, funny thing, because I swear I thought that I had kind of most probably mentioned it somewhere in any one of my 400 plus podcast episodes. But I mean, if I haven't, it's weird, okay? It's weird because I know I've touched upon it in my novels one way or the other, but I guess not as precisely as I proceed to do now. You know, when I look at vloggers, non-Muslim vloggers who are reacting to Quran or reacting to Islam or reacting to, a certain chapter of the Quran and stuff like that. And most of them obviously are actually trying to understand it. They're very serious about it. They're very honest about it. They're actually literally trying to understand, and you applaud them for their efforts. You have hand meditation, and you have others who are literally trying to get the point. In fact, you've got many Indian vloggers who are not Muslims, who are, again, they're literally very positive about it. You've got the Hindu vloggers, you've got Sikh vloggers, and they're doing a pretty darn good job. In fact, I think I say respect to them, because they are not even obliged to do it. I don't even know why they're doing it. I don't even know what piqued their interest. And the fact that they're not averse to understanding is it's a very positive thing, I think. Because remember, the essence of Islam is observe, study, learn, question, explore. Look at my signs, look at my signs, isn't it? This is what God repeatedly tells us, even in the Quran. He's like, and we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. Can they not see the signs? And look at the stars, and look at the sun, and look at the moon, and look at the sun in its own orbit. Look at the moon in its own orbit. Look at the earth in its own orbit. Look at the universe. Look at how I've made this. Look at how I've made you from a drop of sperm, and look at how from the form of a fetus and an embryo, and I've turned you into this and that, and when and which particular month of you being a fetus do I actually put in this, blow in the soul to you, and what happens and all. And can you not see the signs? Every single time, can you not see the signs? So that is why, during the Muslim empire, as in the Muslim rule in the world, we always call that the golden age, isn't it? That is the time when the Europeans were living in the dark ages. But that is the time when Baghdad, when Iran, when Africa, when Middle East, Gulf, Asia, all those countries that were under the Muslim rule, that is when they made huge progress in their times of science and their times of technology. And they made huge discoveries and contributions towards what we now are studying. Imagine the things that they penned down. We're literally still studying that, and we're still using it as our base, as our foundation, be it mathematics, be it algebra, be it algorithms, be it lenses with regards to cameras and glasses, and then, be it the telescope, be it space observation, be it understanding the spherical nature of the universe or of each planet, or of imagine when you study about the different things that God points to, and you're obligated to study them because you're a scientist, and then you cannot believe that this is something that was mentioned thousands of years ago, when man had no knowledge of, or shouldn't have had any knowledge of, such a thing. And today they are learning. For example, for the longest time we've learned about how the sun was a stationary star. And now you're understanding what the Quran means when he says to each we've made its own orbit. And you find out that the sun is actually not a stationary star, but it does have an orbit, So, yes. I mean, points like these, which again, there are some people who still make it a point to debate on it, or to refuse to agree on it, or to make up some sort of an illogical excuse as to no, but it's all about certainty, things we thought were certain before or not. And here I'm specifically referring to stay spiritual. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can see that they're literally trying their best. They've been doing it for a long time now, but they're not trying their best in the sense as I feel that they are still, for example, I just 2 weeks ago they did a reaction on Surah Yasin, which, as they say, they claim is it's supposed to be the heart of the Quran. And obviously it is the heart of the Quran for a reason, because it's literally God has summarized everything and then told you again, can you not see, I made you from sperm, can you not see, I can give you, if I've created you, I can kill you and I can bring you back to life, can you not see? And this is the same surah in which the sun orbiting in its own orbit and the moon orbiting in its own orbit and day and night is all mentioned, and the phases of the moon is mentioned. So, Surah Yasin is all about the signs, the scientific signs around you, physical signs around you that you need to study and understand and explore. And there was one of them kept on and on trying to resist. And the irony here was that the exact phrases that in Surah Yasin God attributes to the disbelievers, that that you will ask this question and you will mock the messengers, and you will claim that, oh, how can you do this, and you will claim, oh, but how is it certain? And that is exactly what that idiot, I mean, I'll call him an idiot right now, because you're actually reading it here in this particular chapter, that God is literally predicting that this is what you're going to say, and you're still saying it. I mean, seriously, you're still saying it. You're still talking about certainty and about changes. That is the whole challenge. That is what God is actually challenging you in the Quran, that He challenges you to match His certainty. What you thought was certain can be an illusion of certainty. What God is actually telling you is that you are already living in an illusion of certainty, which will then, be broken when you find out that what you thought was certain is no longer certain. And I challenge you to challenge my certainty, because what I'm saying is the certainty that you will eventually come to, whether you like it or not, So yeah, I found that very oxymoronic in the sense of, but again, I would say, what I think of when I see such people, or even when I think about our own most inner demon, as when we fall into despair and we have our thoughts and everything. Listen, it does, I mean, the whole debate about whether God exists or not, you do realize it does nothing for God. It does nothing to God. It doesn't refute or erase His existence. Just because you are debating His existence doesn't mean anything to His existence. You do realize that, right? I mean, whether you believe in His existence or not, the effects of it is on you or on us. Okay, let's put it this way. Whether we believe in the existence of God or not, the effects of it is on us. And unfortunately, the effects are eternal. Right? The damage if done is eternal. And if we manage to get unscathed, that is also eternal. Right? So it really does not affect God's existence at all. I mean, it's like saying that, oh, we don't know if the day exists because we have never seen the day. But whether you've seen the day or not, the day still exists, right? Days and months and time, they still exist. Can you actually see time? Can you actually see air? But it exists. Why? Because you're managing to breathe something in and out. But what do you know what you're breathing in and out? What do you know about it? I mean, refuting air is exactly the same as refuting God. It's like you're saying, oh, yeah, there are trees and there are streams and there are mountains. But how do we know who put it there? Okay? How do you know if it's air? You can't see it. You can't smell it. You don't know if you're actually breathing it in or out. It might be your illusion. It might be your illusion of certainty that you're breathing in and out air, but it actually doesn't exist. Okay, tell me then, what are you going to do? It's kind of stupid, isn't it? It's stupid. Just because you refuse to acknowledge the existence of something or someone doesn't make it cease to exist. it exists nonetheless. The onus is on you, not on its existence. You do realize that, right? I mean, it's futile, is what I'm trying to say. It's absolutely futile to even debate or argue about this. You either believe or you don't. You may want to debate or you may not want to debate. It really does nothing. You know, it does nothing to the actual existence of God. Whether you like it or not, He exists. Whether you believe it or not, He exists, right? Again, it doesn't affect Him. Does it? Like what? If we suddenly declare that He doesn't exist, will He cease to exist? If we suddenly declare He exists, He will suddenly exist? It doesn't work that way, does it? And again, as I said, whether we accept His existence or not doesn't matter to Him. It doesn't affect Him. It doesn't matter to Him. He still exists, whether you like it or not, right? Or whether you accept it or not, or whether you believe it or not. But who's the one who's going to be affected? Us. Those of us who believe, those of us who disbelieve, those of us who debate, and those of us who have a problem, and those of us who suspect, and those, you understand. And you know, the again, the whole point that I think that people like this, people who enter into these silly debates, I think they, as I said, it's oxymoronic within itself, that they don't even realize that the whole question in Quran is, or the whole statement, or the whole heart, or the whole summarization of the Quran is explore, question, observe, study, and then reach to the conclusion. Do you not see the signs? Like, seriously, I don't understand how much more clearer it can be. As I said, that is the reason why during the Muslim rule in the world, the Muslims reached such heights, and they gave you all those subjects that today you still study, be it medicine, be it physics, be it biology, be it chemistry, be it math, be it astrology, be it astronomy, it really doesn't matter. But whatever we are studying today, at the end of the day, we still have to study their works as foundation, as base, in order to move forward. The fact that whatever they have written, penned down, studied, observed, put into a record, whatever it is that they've compiled, still is implemented today. And it's not obsolete. That in itself says a lot. It says everything, right? The reason why the Muslim world was a rich, a developed world, the reason why it was an enlightened world is because they followed this basic teaching of Islam, of exploring, observing, questioning, studying, understanding, and then implementing. The whole idea of education came with Islam. It is not a Christian idea, and it's definitely not a Jewish idea. Education is the pinnacle of Islam. What was the first command that God gave to the Prophet, peace be upon him? Read. What did the Prophet say? I cannot read, because he was not educated. He didn't know how to read and write. He was illiterate. And then again he was commanded, read. And again he said, how can I read? I do not know how to read. And then again the angel says, read in the name of your Lord who has created you. That is actually the first verse ever to be revealed. That is the first command ever. It shows the importance of knowledge. Because remember, again, in Christianity, knowledge is the forbidden fruit. But in Islam, knowledge is an obligation. Knowledge is the reason why man is referred to as the perfection. Remember, I told you it's not man's emotions, it's not man's ability to communicate, it's not man's ability to be humane or anything. All living things have all those attributes. the single attribute that made man above all was his ability to gain information, his ability to pursue knowledge, and from there to get new knowledge. You understand? It's not just, it's literally, it's like having a bio AI. Let's put it this way. Like nowadays when we talk about AI, what was the first thing about AI that we always try to put forward is that it will have the ability to think on its own and then reproduce a better answer and then again improve upon itself, right? That is the thing. The whole point of AI, artificial intelligence, what does it mean? The ability to improve on your knowledge, add to your knowledge, and gain new insight, gain new knowledge, and then bring in new conclusions. That is the exact definition of the perfection of humankind. That is exactly what God told the angels when he referred to the reason why he referred to man as above all, as superior to all, you know. And remember, God tells you very clearly that he proceeds to ask Adam a few questions, and Adam gives answers that nobody knew, but Adam managed to know because he had the ability to gain knowledge and to learn new knowledge and then to implement that knowledge, to think, to reflect, to gain more knowledge, and then to reach a conclusion based on that knowledge. So whatever it is, that is why we call artificial intelligence, because to us we were recreating that aspect of mankind. When we decided to make AI, we basically wanted to be able to reproduce the human mind, the human brain, and that is exactly what makes man ashraful makhlukat. So again, explain to me, why are you so dense about understanding the concept of Islam or the concept of Quran? You were so dense that you kept on harping about how the Quran was saying that there was only one message, and that is that just do it, just do it. No. Again, how stupid are you? Or are you just deliberately doing that because, again, it is said in the very surah Yasin, that you are blinded and that God will make you blinded and crippled, that you wouldn't even know faith, even if it just passed by you, because you will be left like that and then burn in hell. So it's like you're literally refusing to understand, and so you're making up questions despite the fact that it's already very clear here that Quran is challenging you, God is challenging you to go out there and prove him wrong that the sun is a stationary star. Well, we got proved wrong. We've been studying for so long that the sun is a stationary star, only to find out that God was right, that the sun actually is orbiting within its own orbit, as the moon and the earth and every other planet. So, excuse me, he is telling you to go out there and prove him wrong. He's not telling you just do it because I'm telling you to do it. He is giving you different signs, different examples, and he's telling you, will you still deny these signs? I challenge you to prove me wrong, to prove my signs wrong. And again, whether you deny it or not, he still exists. You do realize that it's so futile and it's so stupid on the part of human beings who are constantly debating on a factor that literally has no effect whatsoever and cannot be affected whatsoever. You can debate till you're blue in the face, but if he exists, he still exists. Like, seriously. All your debates and all your arguments will still not affect his existence. So if God exists, he exists, right? whether we accept it or not, whether we believe it or not. Again, as I said, it does nothing to him, it doesn't matter to him, it doesn't have any effect on his existence, but it has all the effects on us because we are the ones who will now bear the repercussions either way. You will be in no loss to accept his existence. At least that you know where you stand. So if he doesn't exist, you're still in no loss. But if he exists and you believe in his existence, you're in no loss. But if he exists and you didn't believe in his existence, you're in loss. You're in a huge loss. Like, because remember, our souls are eternal. This world is temporary. So this much we all agree with, right? Or okay, fine. No, I think actually those people who debate on his very existence, they do not even believe that their souls are eternal. They think that we just made ourselves, isn't it? Like, I mean, that's the one question I always ask people who don't believe in a creator. I'm like, okay, so how the hell do you think you just came about to exist? And if you're existing for no reason, then why are you dying? Like, seriously, why are we dying? If there is no one behind our existence, and if we just decided to exist on our own, then why the frack are we dying? And why is it that we have no choices? And why is it that we have no control over our lives? And why is it that there is something that seems to be beyond our control that is moving our lives? And why is it that we have no control over the quality of our lives? Why is it that we have no control over our birth and our death? Just explain that to me and I'll be fine. That's all I'm saying. And nobody has been able to explain anything of the sort to me, obviously, because there is no explanation, because there is no answer to that. We do not exist on our own, and that is why we die. We do not have a choice in our birth, and so we do not have a choice in our death. We have no choice or control in this life because what we think is certain cannot be certain. Right? So that is the same logic that, as I said, that is why I thought of it as an oxymoron, because he's saying that, oh, there are certainties, but we don't know. Yeah, you don't know. That is the whole challenge. We don't know. What we think is certain, we find out later is not. But that has nothing to do with what God is saying is certain, because what he is saying is certain is exactly what we end up finding out anyway. Again, whether we waste our breath, our minds, our times, and our words on debating on his existence, or not. It does nothing to his existence. But it sure does a lot to us. Is all I'm saying. Like, why are we even wasting our time, our breath, our brains on questioning the existence of a being that will exist regardless? Whether I like it or not, God exists, right? Listen, do you think that we actually want God to exist? Do you actually think that human beings on this earth, if left to their own devices, would actually want a God to exist? No. Because we all want to be able to do whatever it is that we want to do, and we do not want to face the consequences of whatever it is that we want to do. But unfortunately, we are facing consequences. We have no control over that either, by the way. So, what gives? Fortunately or unfortunately for us, there is a God. We can debate the fact of his existence till we're blue in the face. Again, it doesn't matter to him. It does not do anything to his existence. It does not affect his existence. It's just like how no matter what we say or do, the air exists, this earth exists, this world exists. We can deny it all we like. Our denial does not refute the existence of the earth. Our denial does not refute the existence of the sun. Our denial does not refute the existence of air. You understand? Things and people that exist regardless of whether we want to accept their existence or not. So, who's the time waster here? Who's the idiot here? Who's the one spending time on a futile effort that he could otherwise put to good use? Just just think about that, right? Before you go around making oxymoronic statements. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.